You open your phone on a random morning, and within seconds you are hit with a headline that makes your blood boil. A new study claims something shocking about the economy, your health, or the latest technology. Half your friends are already sharing it with angry comments, but something feels off. Is this real, or just another piece of cleverly designed misinformation designed to push buttons and spread fast? In the post-truth era we are living through right now, the ability to think clearly and spot hidden biases has become the single most essential skill for 2026 and beyond. Without it, you risk making decisions based on emotion, manipulation, and outright lies that can cost you money, ruin relationships, or derail your entire future. Today, we are breaking down the exact science-backed tools that top psychologists and cognitive scientists use to master critical thinking and protect your mind from misinformation. These are not dry academic tips. They are practical, powerful habits that will sharpen your thinking, make you dangerously hard to fool, and give you calm, confident clarity in a noisy, chaotic world. Stick with me until the very end, because by the time this video finishes, you will have a complete mental toolkit you can use immediately to cut through lies, spot biases, and finally think for yourself like never before. Your brain is not built for truth. It is built for survival, and that creates a dangerous blind spot in the age of endless information. Cognitive scientists call these blind spots cognitive biases, mental shortcuts that once helped our ancestors, but now make us easy targets for misinformation. The most common one is confirmation bias, the tendency to believe information that already matches what you think and ignore everything that challenges it. In 2026, when algorithms feed you content designed to keep you scrolling, this bias turns your social media into an echo chamber that feels like reality, but is actually a carefully constructed bubble. Another dangerous bias is emotional reasoning, believing something is true simply because it feels true. A scary headline triggers fear, and suddenly you accept it without question. Research from Stanford and MIT shows that people under emotional influence are up to 70% more likely to share false information without checking. The good news is, you can train your brain to override these automatic traps. Critical thinking is not something you are born with. It is a skill you build through deliberate practice and the right mental habits. Let us start building them right now. The first powerful tool is the steelman technique, the opposite of the straw man fallacy you see everywhere online. Instead of attacking the weakest version of an argument, you deliberately build the strongest, most reasonable version of the opposing view before you decide what you think. When you encounter a claim that triggers you, pause and ask yourself, what is the best, most honest version of this argument? And what evidence would actually support it? Cognitive psychology studies prove this single habit dramatically reduces bias and increases intellectual humility. It forces your brain out of tribal thinking and into clear, logical analysis. Practice it daily. Next time you see a headline or post that makes you angry, spend 30 seconds building the steelman version in your mind. Or even better, write it down. You will immediately feel your emotional grip loosen and real thinking begin. In the post-truth world, this tool is your shield because it stops you from reacting like a puppet and starts you responding like a clear-headed leader. Tool number 2 is the pre-mortem analysis, a simple but brilliant method used by top decision-makers at places like the CIA and major corporations. Before you fully believe or act on any new information, run a mental pre-mortem. Assume the information is wrong or the decision will fail, and then work backward to figure out why. Ask yourself, what are all the ways this claim could be misleading? What biases might be hidden here, and what evidence is conveniently missing? Research published in leading psychology journals shows that pre-mortems cut overconfidence and improve judgment accuracy by nearly 30%. In 2026, when deepfakes, AI-generated news, and emotionally charged campaigns flood every feed, this habit becomes your early warning system. Make it automatic. Before sharing, forwarding, or getting angry about any piece of information, spend 1 minute running a quick pre-mortem. You will spot red flags that most people completely miss and protect yourself from costly mistakes. The third essential tool is the bias checklist, a short list of questions you run through every time you consume important information. Top critical thinking experts recommend asking these 5 questions relentlessly. First, who benefits if I believe this? Follow the incentive. Second, what is the actual source, and do they have a track record of accuracy? Third, is this claim falsifiable, or is it designed to be impossible to disprove? Fourth, am I feeling strong emotions right now, and is that clouding my judgment? Fifth, what would change my mind about this? If you cannot answer that last question honestly, you are not thinking, you are just believing. Studies on debiasing techniques show that people who consistently use a structured checklist reduce their susceptibility to misinformation by over 50%. Keep this checklist in your Notes app, or even print it and stick it near your workspace. Turn it into a non-negotiable habit every single time you encounter breaking news, controversial claims, or persuasive content. Your future self in 2026 will thank you when everyone else is panicking over the latest viral lie, and you stay calm because you actually thought it through. Tool number 4 is the Feynman technique, named after the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman. It is brutally simple yet incredibly effective for destroying misinformation. Take any claim or idea and try to explain it in plain, simple language, as if you were teaching it to a smart 12-year-old. If you cannot explain it clearly, or if you find yourself using vague buzzwords that is your signal, the idea is either wrong or you do not truly understand it. The act of explaining forces hidden assumptions and logical gaps to surface. Neuroscience research shows this technique activates deeper analytical brain networks and weakens the grip of superficial emotional beliefs. Use it daily. When you read an article, watch a video, or hear a strong opinion, pause and run the Feynman test out loud or in writing. You will be shocked how many popular ideas collapse the moment you try to teach them simply. In the post-truth era, this habit turns you from a passive consumer into an active truth seeker. The final and most important tool is building intellectual humility, the quiet superpower that protects you long-term. Intellectual humility means actively reminding yourself that you could be wrong and staying genuinely open to better evidence. It is the opposite of the arrogant certainty you see dominating online debates. Studies from leading universities show that people high in intellectual humility are far better at updating their beliefs when new facts arrive, and they spread far less misinformation themselves. Build this habit with a daily reflection. Every evening, ask yourself, what did I believe today that might be incomplete or wrong, and what new information would I welcome? This small practice rewires your brain away from defensive tribal thinking toward curious, clear-headed growth. In 2026, when information moves faster than ever, intellectual humility becomes your anchor, keeping you steady while others get swept away by the latest wave of hype or fear. You now hold the complete critical thinking toolkit that top minds use to stay sharp in the post-truth world. The Steelman technique to escape echo chambers. Pre-mortem analysis to catch lies before they catch you. The bias checklist to run every important claim through a filter. The Feynman technique to expose weak ideas instantly. And intellectual humility to keep your mind flexible and honest. These tools are not complicated, but they require consistent practice. Start today with just one. Pick the bias checklist and use it on the very next piece of information you consume. Feel the difference as mental clarity replaces emotional fog. You do not have to be a genius to think clearly. You just need the right habits and the courage to use them, even when it is uncomfortable. In 2026, the people who master critical thinking will navigate uncertainty with confidence, make better decisions, build stronger careers, and protect their families from manipulation. The noisy, chaotic world will still be there, but you will see through it with calm, sharp eyes. You are no longer an easy target for misinformation. You have become a master thinker who values truth over comfort and clarity over clicks. That shift starts right now in this moment. Take the first step. Question one thing today with these tools, and watch how your entire perspective begins to change. The post-truth era does not have to own your mind. You own your mind. Use these tools daily and step confidently into 2026 as the clear-thinking leader your future self and your world desperately need. You have everything it takes. Begin now and never let misinformation win again.